Hello everyone, for today's video I have a full death themed moveset. This was suggested by quite a few of you actually, but the comment I picked was from Get Wrecked Bro. So if you guys have any moveset suggestions for yourself, please feel free to leave them in the comments and the best ones will be used for future videos. But first, I do ask that you take a look at the playlist, which will be in the description and in the pinned comment, just in case you guys suggest something that I've already done before. And of course, if you do enjoy these videos, please leave a like. So getting to the moveset, for our supers we can pick from Death Beam, Death Wave, Death Slash, Death Crusher or Death Slicer. For our ultimates we can pick Death Ball, Death Meteor or Emperor's Death Beam. For our transformation he says to use Super Vegeta as it boosts our ki, and a moveset like this is very ki orientated, and he's given me free choice of which evasive I can use. For my evasive I decided to go for Fake Blast for two reasons really. Firstly, I've just not used it yet, and secondly, it's one of Cooler's evasives, and you know, considering this is a very Frieza and Cooler orientated theme, I thought, you know what, I might as well use this over Frieza's evasive. Just two quick notes before we jump into the fights. Death Slash and Death Wave, at least for me, they're kind of the same thing, with the only difference being that, and I can't remember which one it is, one of them has a very short range. I think it's Death Wave, I'm not sure. I only mention this because going into these fights, I think I used one of them when I meant to use the other, and I just thought that was kind of funny. And finally, Double Death Slicer is probably one of my favourite ultimate attacks now, and I'll get into why a little bit later on. But with that being said, let's get into the first fight. Going into the first fight, my opponent has reversed Mebikyu Senko, and at this point I was thinking, only because I was very close to picking Hyper Movement as my evasive rather than Fake Blast, because you know, Hyper Movement is my go-to evasive now, and that's just the perfect counter to reverse Mebikyu Senko and Mystic Flash, because if you can bait your opponent into using it, then you're just going to break their guard and you're going to be able to do a lot of damage that way. So there I jumped and hit him with a sort of sledgehammer attack, and what I find disappointing about the Xenoverse series in general is that, like, those attacks, like when you jump and hit them, they're just not used because they're just not needed. But something I did notice about this guy was that whenever I would vanish, he would immediately go for the back hit, so that would just be a great way to drain his stamina by just getting perfect blocks off. So that's something I'm going to use to my advantage as we progress through the fight. And I really should do that because, like, we're not even a minute in, we're like 55 seconds if that, and we're both on our final bar of health, and it is a fairly even matchup, so I do really need to take as many advantages as I can, and I'll do that in a moment by using Super Vegeta 2, and very smart on this guy if this was deliberate. He went for the reverse Mebikyu Senko there as I went for the Super Saiyan 2 transformation, and that did drain a lot of my stamina, so I could try and go for a stamina reset now. And with a Double Death Slicer, I did forget to mention this at the start, but you can really get an easy stamina reset if you use it properly, because you don't have to continuously press the button to continue it. If you get hit and the attack's still up, you can just press the button again and you'll home back in on your opponent. And that's kind of what I did there, but that's going to be the end of the first fight. It was very close, very intense, so let's move on to the next battle. So, getting into the next battle, what I found very interesting about this guy was that, I mean, well, firstly, he's picking Frieza, so I just thought he fits with this video. And I don't mean to say this to sound disrespectful, but this guy, he is kind of a new player, I would say, or just a very inexperienced player. But he's using techniques that an advanced player would use online. Like right here, he goes for back hit. And I just found that very interesting because you rarely see like a new-ish player using these advanced techniques. Now granted, I think he's just using them and hoping for the best, and he's not putting any thought into them. Because the first back hit attempt that he used, I mean, there was like, what, 10 feet of distance between us? There's just no way in hell it was going to hit me. It just wouldn't. And he does come off as very predictable. In a moment, he's going to have 2 bars of stamina recovered. I think I did go for the back hit there a bit earlier, but he just didn't register, but whatever. Like, I knew he was going to vanish there, like, of course he would. I go for Super Vegeta 1, and then now I'm just using a basic heavy combo, and I knew he was going to vanish here again because he had 2 bars of stamina recovered, and he's going to want to protect himself against someone like who's doing a lot of damage on him, so it makes sense what he's doing. But if he just waited maybe a second longer and like baited me into vanishing first, well, baited me into going for the back hit I should say, then he'll be able to get away with the vanish easier. And right here I go for the Double Death Slicer, and you just saw he hit me, but I'm still able to continue it. I go for the swing kick here, and this is just a beautiful finish in my opinion. I kick him away and continue the Double Death Slicer, and that's going to connect, and that's going to be enough to put Frieza away with his own attack. So in the next battle, my opponent picked Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and unfortunately you rarely see him used online now, especially since Xenoverse 2 came out, because Goku's got Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10. So again, Vegeta's just been completely overshadowed. Before we went into the clash, he went for the back hit pretty much immediately after I vanished, so I'm going to remember that and see if he's going to do it again. If he does do it again, then I'm going to assume that that's his strategy, to go for the back hit immediately, or to try and go for the back hit before I even vanish to try and predict it. So if that is the case, and I can't remember because it's been a few days since I've had these fights, then that's going to be a huge advantage for me as we continue for the fight, and that could be the key to winning this. So in a moment, he's going to go for a few step vanishes, probably to try and flank me and to try and catch me off guard, but it doesn't work because I go for the Death Slicer. And here I went for the square stamina break, and it did hit him, but it didn't connect or whatever. I mean, it does suck, but I did find that kind of funny. So I did vanish there, and he did go for the back hit, but I think I was just too fast in blocking, so I'm thinking, okay, that's interesting. Maybe he's learned that I'm going to go for the block as soon as I vanish. So now he's going to try and change up the timing of when he goes for the back hit. He goes for a very cheeky Super Galagon in the moment, and I was just a tad bit too slow in breaking his guard, and I did kind of get a panic evasive there because, well, I don't know why I used my evasive there, unless I was thinking that I had hyper movement because I'm just used to using that now. Maybe that's why I used it, I really don't know. But very fair play to that guy because, well, that's one of the reasons why I love Super Galagon. You can use it fully charged to do a ton of damage, or you can use it very fast to do a fair bit of damage and to get the element of surprise on your opponent. Again, it's one of my favourite ultimates just because of that. It's got lots of uses and you don't really necessarily know which version your opponent is going to do, so you just have to be on your toes there. I think I went for the Death Wave there, and if I'd used the other version that actually had some range, that would have almost finished that guy off. So right now he is in Zenkai mode, so I just need to be careful. And I think he wants to try and finish me off in like a bit flashy because he went for the final blow a few times, but I mean, if he did hit me with final blow even once, he wouldn't finish me off. It will do a lot of damage, but he just wouldn't finish me off. So I do think he got a bit cocky and flashy towards the end, and ultimately that's going to be why he lost. So as we go into the final battle for this video, I would suggest that this is a new player because, I mean, we're not even 10 seconds in and he's pretty much used all of his stamina. But what annoyed me more than anything about this guy was that he just kept on using the Rage Source attack, or what the attack's called, where the villainous mode just used that rush that teleports 3 times. And what annoyed me even more than that was that I couldn't perfect block it. I've perfect blocked that lots of times in the past. The timing is slightly different in Xenoverse 2 now, where it's just faster, you have to perfect block it immediately. I already knew this because I've seen it before, and I just know that you can perfect block it, but you do have to be very fast compared to Xenoverse 1. But I don't know what's happened to me in this fight. I just couldn't do it. I went for Super Vegeta 2 here because, I mean, I might as well. I've got enough ki. You know, there's just no point in me staying in my base form. Again, I went for Fake Blast. Don't know why, but he's used it again, and I think he goes for it again immediately here, or he may charge up. No, okay, so he does use it for like a 4th time now, is it, or a 3rd time, or whatever. But I know I can beat this guy whenever I want because within the first 10 seconds he used all of his stamina and just panicked with it. So I know I can beat him if I play properly. Not to say that I'm toying with him, but I am using this fight as an opportunity to try and learn to perfect block this attack. Granted, I could go into training mode and just try and perfect block it that way, but I just think you get more out of it if it's online because I guess the stakes are higher, I suppose. I don't know, I just prefer training online. That's just how I personally train, I guess. I went for Serious Bomb here, and I could have probably just let him hit me with it because it probably wouldn't have connected anyway. But I wanted to break his guard, so I went for Fake Blast, and I was just quick enough to break his guard. I went for the double Death Slicer as his stamina was broken because I just knew for a fact he wouldn't be able to get out of it and I'll be able to hit him with it fully. So here, I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do. He charges up, and as soon as it finishes, I hit him with the Heavy Smash, and that's going to be enough to put that guy away. He was very annoying at some places. I just wish that I could perfect block the attacks better because that would have been very nice practice. Well, thank you guys for watching the video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Leave your moveset theme suggestions in the comments and I will use the best ones for future videos. And of course, please do leave a like, and I'll see you next time.